Welcome to True Crime and Scene. Today, we dive into a chilling mystery, the case of the Nudist Colony murders. Picture this: a serene nudist colony, hidden deep in the California hills. A world cloaked in peace and acceptance. But beneath that tranquil exterior, darkness brewed. Members of this community were angled in a web of friendship and openness until a string of murders rocked their paradise. What makes this case so bizarre? There's no evidence, no witnesses, and most terrifying of all, no bodies ever found. In a space dedicated to freedom, trust began to fracture when whispers surfaced about disappearances. How did a place meant for liberation become a ground for terror? The first victim, a beloved member named Walter, vanished overnight. Friends speculated. Was it a getaway gone wrong, or something far more sinister? Days turned into weeks, and when search teams combed the surrounding forests, they found nothing, no trace of Walter. No clues, just a deafening silence, enveloping the colony like a dense fog. Then came the second notification. Charlotte, known for her radiant spirit, was reported missing as well. Dubbed the Nudist Queen, Charlotte was loved by all. But when she didn't return after an excursion, the colony's atmosphere shifted dramatically. Here's where confusion began to seep in. Friends claimed they saw her heading toward a secluded area in the woods. Others insisted she left in the company of a mysterious stranger guest who had just arrived at the colony. But no one could agree on the details. Who was this stranger, and why had he vanished as quickly as he appeared? As investigators delved deeper into the community dynamics, inconsistencies began to emerge. Members whispered about secrets, hidden romances, and rivalries simmering beneath the surface. An unsettling truth began to take root. Could a member of their own be behind these vanishings? Days turned dark, and fear settled like a heavy cloak. The colony began to fracture, paranoia spreading through the air. Accusations flew, trust shattered, and friendships crumbled under the weight of suspicion. With each passing day, more individuals went missing, some reporting last contact under mysterious circumstances. But one person had a different story. A woman named Jenna, the newest member of the community, began to piece together fragments of conversations, secrets buried among the nudity of truth. She could feel the tension thickening every time she tried to connect with others. Something was lurking beneath that calm exterior. Just when Jenna began to suspect an inside job, she stumbled upon something utterly shocking: a hidden diary buried deep in the foliage near the colony's library. The diary belonged to Walter. Inside, she found a tangled narrative of fear. Walter accused a member named Paul of harboring dark intentions. Paul, known for being charismatic yet moody, suddenly emerged as the lead suspect in Jenna's mind. The entries detailed strange rituals and whispers of a cult-like following among some members, ones who conjured whispers of violence wrapped in the guise of freedom. Jenna sought out allies to confront Paul, but was met with resistance. He's harmless, they told her. Just a man who likes to play the role. But Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked beneath Paul's facade. Subscribe to True Crime and Scene now. Then, one silent night, Jenna overheard a conversation. Whispers drifted from around a hidden corner, where shadows embraced two figures, Paul and a woman named Laura, deep in conversation discussing the next phase of their operation. Jenna caught fragments of their words. No more mistakes, and the others won't know. Panic washed over her as she stumbled back, barely concealing her terror. What were they planning? Why did they fear being discovered? Heart pounding, Jenna knew she had to find someone to believe her. But was she in danger? Had she uncovered something deeper than mere murder? The stakes escalated as Jenna raced against time. She contacted friends and attempted to gather evidence. But each time she tried to unravel Paul's web, he seemed to always be one step ahead. A series of misfortunes befell her allies. Broken phones, twisted words. Was someone sabotaging her every move? Just when hope seemed lost, Jenna unearthed a connection in Walter's diary and address, leading to a nearby abandoned cabin. Was this the place Paul and Laura discussed? It could hold the answers she desperately sought. With renewed determination, Jenna set out under the cover of night, fear mingling with resolve. But she wasn't alone. Someone was watching her every move. She could sense it. Shadows danced around her, chilling her to the bone. At any moment, she could be intercepted by Paul or Laura, or worse. As Jenna approached the cabin, the weight of her discovery loomed heavier with each step. Would she uncover the twisted truth behind the Nudist Colony murders? Or would she become another victim in a game too dangerous to play? Welcome back to True Crime and Scene. Last time, Jenna stood on the precipice of discovery, creeping toward an abandoned cabin that could unravel the chilling mysteries of the Nudist Colony. Shadows danced around her, and fear gripped her heart. But this journey was about to take a dark turn. With each step, Jenna felt the weight of uncertainty closing in. The cabin loomed ahead, shrouded in darkness. Heart pounding, she pushed the door open, and it creaked like a warning. Inside, the air was stale, filled with the scent of damp wood and something rotten. As she stepped inside, her flashlight flickered across the walls and landed on something shocking: news clippings plastered everywhere. Each death connected. Walter, Charlotte, and the others all missing. The headline screamed, "Secrets of the Nudist Colony Murder or Ritual?" What was happening here? Why would someone keep these? And just as she began to piece together this chilling tapestry, she heard a noise behind her, a low, guttural whisper. "Who's there?" Jenna called, panic rising in her throat. It was Paul, stepping out from the shadows, his face twisted in a mix of anger and amusement. "You've been digging where you don't belong, Jenna." "Digging?" she stammered. "You mean uncovering your secrets? Why are you doing this?" Jenna's voice trembled, but she was determined not to show her fear. Paul chuckled darkly. "Secrets? Jenna, you have no idea. The others needed to be cleansed." His cryptic words chilled her to the bone. "But you could be part of something greater." In that moment, Jenna's instincts kicked in. She couldn't let him manipulate her. "You're insane. Those people had lives, families." She edged toward the door, but he blocked her path, a predator cornering prey. "Lives or sacrifices?" Paul hissed, stepping closer. "They thought the colony was about peace. They didn't understand the power of vain." He gestured around wildly. "Freedom from the mundane. Every one of those disappearances was a step toward enlightenment." Jenna's mind whirled. Enlightenment? Was this some kind of cult? She needed to escape, to warn the others before they became part of this twisted ideology. "You're not going to get away with this." She spat, adrenaline surging through her veins. Then, as if the universe was working in her favor, a loud crash echoed from outside, shaking the cabin. Paul's attention snapped to the door. What was that? He turned, and Jenna seized the moment to bolt past him. She raced toward the trees, her heart pounding against her ribs. For a split second, she felt freedom, but terror gnawed at her heels. Paul yelled behind her, "You think you can run? You're already part of this." Jenna sprinted to flee the woods, branches scratching at her skin as she moved. She had to find the others. Maybe they would finally believe her. But fear clouded her mind. Was Paul truly capable of all this, murdering innocent people for his delusions? Suddenly, Jenna stumbled upon a group gathered around a fire, their faces illuminated by flickering flames. It was the colony. But it wasn't a reunion, it looked like a ceremony. Their eyes glazed over, chanting in unison. Some holding hands, others wielding strange symbols. "It's begun." Paul appeared behind her, a sneer on his face. "Welcome to the awakening, Jenna." A wave of horror washed over her as she realized the truth. This gathering wasn't just a celebration. It was a ritual. They were channeling their madness into dark practices. believing they were heroes on a path to illumination through sacrifices. But there was something more. A figure within the group stood out to her. It was Charlotte, looking not dead but entranced. As if caught in a trance, "Charlotte!" Jenna screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the chanting. With each beat, Jenna felt the ground shake, the atmosphere growing heavy with dread. What if Charlotte wasn't missing? What if she had willingly joined this madness? Frantically, Jenna searched for any sign of other missing members. Where was Walter or Lydia? Just then, a glimmer caught her eye, a wooden box next to the fire, engraved with familiar symbols that Walter had etched in his diary. Inside could lie the proof, the final connections to the other missing members. While the others remained consumed by the ritual, Jenna darted for the box, but as her fingers brushed the lid, a cold grip tight and around her wrist. It was Paul, his eyes wild with mania. "You shouldn't be here. You'll ruin everything." Jenna realized she was trapped not just by Paul, but by the darkness that had consumed the colony. She was surrounded by people who had surrendered to chaos. Their lives were forfeit to a cause with no boundaries. Fueled by adrenaline, she struggled free from Paul's grasp and snatched the box, holding it like a weapon. "I won't let you take any more lives," she shouted, defiance surging through her every vein. But just as she turned to flee, the chanting shifted. "You've brought the darkness back," they cried, their voices morphing into a mighty roar. Fear screamed through her as shadows lurched toward her, hands reaching out like claws. Jenna stood at a crossroads. Could she escape this nightmare? Or would she become the next unfortunate sacrifice? As Paul's laughter echoed in the distance and the chorus of the cult grew louder, one question hung heavy in the air.